Right now at 4:30, we are just 19 hours away from the big decision in Copenhagen. Today, Chicago's Olympic team hopes President Obama can help close the deal.
7 years after her horrific experience, Elizabeth Smart comes face to face with her kidnapper.
And everybody is talking about this dramatic rescue. But that's not all. Find out what this hero did next.
Now, this is News 6 at 4:30 in high definition.
And good afternoon, everyone. This is News 6 at 4:30. I'm Matt Whitney.
And I'm Nicole Marks. Carmela Malfisi has the day off. By this time tomorrow, we will know if Chicago is the host city for the 2016 Summer Olympic Games. As the final hours tick down to the big decision, President Obama hopes to help close the deal. He is about to jump on a plane to Copenhagen. News 6's Phil Rogers filed this report.
The First Lady's day began early, a meeting with the IOC President Jacques Rogge. Royal Opera House. We'll look at that at 6 o'clock. For now, reporting from Copenhagen, Phil Rogers.
And back here at home, Chicago gets ready for tomorrow's big decision. We have a live look for you now at Daley Plaza. This is the site of the official 2016 viewing party, and the plaza is all spruced up with Olympic banners. Thousands of people are expected here tomorrow morning to watch the decision live.
Yes, and because of the viewing bash, you can expect some street closures from 8 o'clock tonight until 4 o'clock Friday afternoon. Clark Street between Randolph and Washington will be closed to all traffic.
And because of Clark Street being closed, there are a few CTA bus routes to tell you about. The number 22 Clark and the number 22 Wentworth will be detoured to adjacent streets. Chicago police add that there may be additional street closures and more rerouted buses as the day progresses, so be alert for that. Downtown commuters are asked to allow extra time to travel around during this period.
And if you cannot make it to Daley Plaza, there are lots of places to watch all over the city. There are a lot of watch parties being planned from the city to the suburbs. It seems as though Chicago is really excited. Dozens of restaurants and bars will have drink and lunch specials. So if you cannot make it out to Daley Plaza, you will definitely have options.
Here's Ryan Sandberg and his family. He was just in. We have Marv Levy, who was with the Buffalo Bills. We got Fergie Jenkins.
Justin free for general admission as long as they dress up like their favorite Olympian or have Chicago 2016 gear on.
Those are just some of the many places you can see if Chicago wins the bid tomorrow afternoon. And for a complete list, just log on to our website at news6chicago.com.
And just stay with News 6 and news6chicago.com for complete coverage of the IOC decision beginning tomorrow very early at 1:45 in the morning. We will have the final Chicago 2016 presentation and the news conference immediately following that. Then at 4:30 a.m. we'll have live analysis and experts on what happened. Then at 9 o'clock we will be back live for special coverage of the IOC vote and the announcement ceremony.
Now to other serious news stories of the day. The brutal beating of a Fenger High School student. Chicago police have reportedly launched an internal investigation. Investigators want to know whether a police squad near the scene did nothing to stop the fight. 16-year-old honor student Darian Albert was killed 1 week ago. We have learned that he will be laid to rest on Saturday. 4 suspects are charged and police are looking for 3 others.
And on the north side, a 14-year-old boy is hospitalized in critical condition after being beaten by several teenagers. It happened in the Edgewater neighborhood. Witnesses say he was chased and hit on the head by what they are calling a shiny object.
I saw the kid lying there. It seemed like it took a long time for 911 to get here, but it just seemed that way. I'm sure it was much quicker than that. And there was a lot of blood there, an awful lot of blood.
Witnesses were only able to give the police a very vague description of the suspects.
Now to the top story overseas that we're following this afternoon. A powerful aftershock in Indonesia. The death toll there has climbed to over 1,000. Hundreds of others are injured. Yesterday's initial earthquake was a magnitude 7.6. Scores of homes, hospitals, schools, and hotels were destroyed. Thousands of people are feared trapped in the rubble.
7 years after she was abducted from her Salt Lake City bedroom, Elizabeth Smart comes face to face with her kidnapper. NBC's Leanne Gregg reports.
For the first time since she was taken at knife point from her, and now reliving the crimes against her in pursuit of justice. Leanne Gregg for NBC.
Mitchell is currently being hospitalized in a psychiatric hospital.
Looking at the weather for us tonight, you might need your umbrella along with your jacket if you're heading out there.
Yeah, let's get a first look at your weather. Let's just hope it'll be a little warmer and no rain for the viewing party tomorrow.
Yeah, I hope so too. Well, up next, after months of not being in the air, Captain Sully Sullenberger flies again.
Plus, the story everybody is talking about today, a rescue you have to see to believe.
And what is Spike Lee doing in Gary, Indiana? We have the scoop for you.
And Wall Street kicked off October on a very negative note across the board. The rest of today's business headlines are coming up next.
Here are some other stories that we are following today. The man behind the miracle landing on the Hudson River is now flying again. Captain Chesley Sully Sullenberger's first flight in almost 9 months. It was a symbolic flight for both Sullenberger and co-pilot Jeffrey Skiles. They started out the day by flying from Charlotte to New York, and they finished their return flight that was cut short in January.
And I had only one request, and that was when I did return to work, I wanted to be reunited with my crew from Flight 1549 on January 15th.
That flight had taken off from LaGuardia when it hit a flock of geese, knocking out both engines. All 150 people on board the flight made it out alive. In fact, one of those survivors was on board today's flight.
2-year suspensions for more than 24 band members at Jackson State University. They have been found guilty of hazing. University police say the freshman members of the band were assaulted with bats and wooden paddles. None of the suspended students face any criminal charges since they did not press charges with police.
Filmmaker Spike Lee visits Michael Jackson's childhood home in Gary, Indiana. He is there to shoot footage on a documentary that he is making about Jackson. His visit wasn't publicized, so only few spectators were at the house. Lee's short film is expected to be released in just a few short weeks.
And who said cats are the only ones with 9 lives? Check out this story out of Mississippi. A Chihuahua survives more than 24 hours trapped underwater inside a houseboat. The boat sank after it hit a tree stump. The owner thought the dog was dead, but the next day a scuba diver found him in the wreckage, hiding in an air pocket inside the boat. We're told the dog is doing just fine now.
Good news to hear. Such a wonderful story.
Yes, it is. Well, in today's business news, a sign that employers are reluctant to hire. First-time jobless claims are up.
Let's get the latest from Poppy Harlow, who is first off Wall Street and has today's business news.
Well, stocks tumbled right out of the starting gate today as investors were unsettled by some disappointing economic reports. Weekly jobs. Looking ahead to Friday, investors' eyes will be squarely fixed on the labor market, with the September jobs report being released before the stock market opens. It's expected the unemployment rate in this country will tick up to 9.8%. That's ahead on the final trading day of the week. In New York, I'm Poppy Harlow.
Weather for us, expect some rain tonight, but the question is, will rain fall on those who gather at Daley Plaza for tomorrow's big Olympic vote? You're taking a live look right now at Daley Plaza. It's pretty wet out there for now. Your weather forecast is coming up next.
Michael Jackson's autopsy report is finally out to find out what happened to the 50-year-old singer.